Hello. If you're watching this, I'm currently on the way back to my father's place in California, and it's been quite the interesting visit, I would say that much. So, it's the last kind of video you're going to be getting like this, ahead of my forthcoming shift in direction, as well as my local which is Acme, a, and basically it's gonna be fewer impromptu videos like this and leaning more heavily into longer ones like the kind of frame like video essays as well. I will do these on whenever I feel like a basis, but it won't be as frequent. So with that mind, since we're currently in between in the mark of it going live on the Switch and it going live on mobile. In between is nice, so here is my updated thoughts on Pokemon Unite, 5 years after initially launched. So let's begin. Usually I try to get the things I like out of the way first, but I'm gonna shake this up once again, and because since I started playing again, was like the first time in a bit. It's this year. Here I try to take breaks whenever I can. It doesn't dominate my entire life. I have these live service titles. I once again point out that the monetization is, as per usual, the one thing that's been keeping me from recommending the game more. Even more so since they sunsetted the Poke coins and while I did indeed get more free options for her perks, there was one catch to it. That being that I was given more and more or objectives complete, and I can definitely say that even though the anniversary event has gotten a lot of good perks with me getting Pokemon and gear and Holoware that I've been after for a while now, as well as entertaining new ones from all around the franchise, be it fan favorite, if it legendary such as Yveltal, Zacian, and Palkia, name a few, who as well as like the Johto Stage 2 starters. Let's just say that Meganium has been vindicated in all respects between this game and ZA. The Mega Evolved form is a beast, so to speak. I do still like Feraligatr and Typhlosion, even with the latter. I will definitely keep it to a minimum that he knows what he's done. And the Horizons event, however, I was not too big on. I actually just dipped out after a bit because I just found that to be a spendy grind, even by 10-cent standards. It was like, I mean, whenever I can't say I'm entirely surprised on how again it's easier to who count the games I haven't invested in the ones I have. I will give them and Timmy this with their involvement, though. At least this has more of an audience than Highguard did. Better character designs, too. I love, like, my ZA avatar gear, which makes a nice little transition to things I do enjoy about this build. I will say it is still a quite pretty game. Like, even as the increasing push towards realism is hitting a ceiling, like, thanks in no small part to all this shenanigans going on with RAM and AI. That there is still value in more stylized look and feel that I can have like a Pikachu who looks like a disc jockey, a or a Lucario that looks like Space Ranger, or if you were so inclined, you could have your avatar look like a football playing king in space with a mustache. And even I, who's still only learning all the bigger terminology of MOBAs, such as last hitting and jungling, things like that. I have not played League of Legends or Dota 2, but I understand the appeal of them. Um, um, I think the route they took would make things like easier to understand, where you gather the points from opponents as well as Y ones of the field, and then bank them at opponents' goals with legendaries. And even though it actually controls pretty well, and I think a Switch 2 native version is feasible, given how even with like the base Switch version still gain decent engagement. As with the mobile one, I synced my accounts with them a while ago. Oh, and can do even more on the new device, man. And it turns out that even with all the discourse, I always do my best to try and keep my concerns and my quests civil. I mean, obviously, I don't expect at them to suddenly try to make it like in Crisis, which is notorious for being rapidly demanding. So wants to become a meme, but I think it is manageable to have collabs with other parts of the franchise at the very least. I mean, where you have cosmetics from the main games. I could totally see a gear based on characters like Iono, Kanari, and Raihan, who I could totally see streaming games when they're not on the clock, man. Personally, a and also, oh, my guess is like the it's like the people are spending copious amounts of money on this, even with persistent rumors that the next console generations could be up to $1,000 at launch. I'm guessing the pain for people like me who don't feel inclined to do that. I mean, that even I fairly early on had like the difference between like the free and paid players. It was like free is basically living in a box which he gets evicted from, and the paid players are like a king. And I don't mean like some cosplayer with too much gold crap in their place. I mean like an actual one. And they even hold like his predecessor's gold-plated Wii at auction, man. And imagine that. I also reaffirm that I'm gonna keep up like a hybrid approach to how I get my games, like how I only really do digital if it's my only option for certain titles, but I do intend to get a lot of the releases I want physically whenever I can, and that like the big one I'm after, Metal Gear here, Legacy Collection Volume 2, or rather Master Collection Volume 2. I was still annoyed that I could not get the first volume on PS4 physically. I mean, a and and I think that is definitely the surest way you can tell that you can have things changed to vote in one's wallet. I mean, like how I mean the idea that they're not going to change anything. And I mean, the only way that's actually happens if people sit on their hands and do absolutely nothing. I mean, typically, like I said before, I'll continue to say as long as I need to, whether it's games or anything else, to be the change that you want to see. That'll be all for now, and I will see you soon after I touch down. Take care, everyone.